And what's going on here, guys? Welcome back to the Speakeasy Podcast. Yes, we are back. It's felt like what my good friend Jason has always dubbed his term, a dog's age. That's my bark. We're back, man. It's been too long. It felt like we haven't got on in a week, but it felt like we haven't got on in a month. I don't know why. I don't know, Jason, if you have that same feeling. But look, man, we're happy to be back. We've missed the platform. You know what I mean? And just so you know that, excuse me, man. I just I ate some. I tried to go salad bar tonight, but then I got some of that old steak and mushroom quesadilla. And yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I played golf today. I played horrible. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Was it left, right?
No. It was tree line, water, no tree line, backyard. That's what my golf game was today. How was your day, bud?
Hey, my day was good. We went to church. We came back, fell asleep, and now we're doing some podcasting. So,
what did you learn today at church, Jason? What did you, just for somebody that can pull out something that you pulled out of it? What did God put on your heart as you sat and listened to the pastor?
Well, good. Look, I'll preach here for a little bit. So they were talking about groups. Surround yourselves with people that give you a positive influence in your life and surroundings, and they give you a goal, or they keep light in your life instead of keep the darkness. And so
that's right.
Yeah, groups keep people around you that actually are a positive influence in your life. That's
right. For the young kids out there, you ever heard the term "show me your friends and I'll tell you your future"? That's all you need to know. Oh yeah.
That's powerful.
That's all you need to know. Friends are everything. People are everything. Chances are, if your circle has a negative mindset on life, they're gonna rub off on you, and so will you. So you got to get around people that they hold the chain together. Am I right? So you got to find you some brothers like
some friends. You got to find yourself
brother
some
Dare Kid right here, brother Dare Kid. What? Speaking of the Dare Kid, what's that for? I mean,
so I was lucky to go through this little program. It was talk about keep drugs and alcohol and all. They would bring you down, and you would sign up in Puerto Rico because my dad was stationed down there. So we went to this. It was called the Dare program. That was
what does Dare stand for? What does Dare stand for?
I would say drug and I have no idea.
Rare encounters.
Yeah, rare
encounters. Is that an I?
I love it. Yeah, no, it's an E. You're good.
Is it really?
Hey, I do want to clarify something though. It is. This is what I want to know. All right. So
yes.
as I'm driving there, I want to know: do homeless people have a 9-to-5 job? Because it's 21 degrees out, and I don't see anybody that's homeless. Like, where are they at? Where's the panhandlers? I want to see if you're homeless. You're homeless. You got nothing to do. I know. I went to church.
You know how many? I mean, well, I don't know. You ever see some of them like huge culverts, and you're like, bro, that if I was homeless, that'd be bread and butter right there. I'd dam it up with rocks, maybe keep the wind out. And, you got 3 borders around you. And then you feel safe, or just I don't know, man. It's
but where's the smoke gonna go?
I feel like if I was homeless, I would probably be creative.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem, right?
I'm not going to get on homeless people because we were talking about this episode 1, and I said, Jason,
I know. Well, I see them now more. I guess I wish I could go back to episode 1 to clarify what I see. Because if I was homeless, I'm going to West Virginia. I'm going to build a log cabin. All I would do is sit out Ace Hardware or Lowe's, because I bought my equipment here. Lowe's has everything, I guess, electronic too.
If I was homeless, I would just be indigenous. Like I would just go straight off the grid and just building like I would have my own little clay huts or whatever and whatnot. But man, it's look, the homeless problem in America is getting worse and worse. And it's sad. We talked about doing it for episode 1, but it was kind of some funny humor there because It was just funny, but it was episode 1, and so we were like, well, we don't want to be the guys that come out and just bash homeless people, and that's technically not what we are, but we're not, because we'll save it for an episode down the road. Let's just say that. But it did make for an interesting topic.
I just want to. Well, I just want to. So we give $900 billion to a foreign country. That's all I'm going to put. But we can't find tiny houses for these guys that live in.
Well, I mean,
that's it. Okay, that's all I got. It was on my mind. I just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, I just wanted to talk.
We'll save it for the next episode because I was fixing it.
Yeah.
All right, look, I just want to give a shout out because, man, people recognize. Like, usually I'm not a person that people, just give me stuff. Besides my grateful cousins, they always seem to have a hand me down, coming my way. I'm like, hey, man, why not?
Praise the Lord.
But I do, I had my wife's brother. He knows we have this platform now. And in the next few weeks, man, I'm going to be switching some stuff up. You're going to see some different stuff in the background. Texas will never leave. I can promise you that. Those of you that oppose that, just like I said, wait for I'll Speakeasy Playbook coming up 2024 in the summer. We'll talk football all day, but this platform right here, we're just gossiping, about what goes on the week. But needless to say, my wife's brother, man, he said, hey, you want this for your podcast? And I'm like, I do. I do. So I just want to show you this. You're not going to see the whole thing because it's actually big, dude, but it's going up.
Up. So,
you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, I could have put that as a.
Yeah, I never really got into that, but I heard it's a good series. People watch it still today.
I could have put that as a background. I may just leave that right there. Oh, I got the bam, bam. Got the Frieza over my shoulder. Bam, huh?
Okay, yeah, you already named one. All right, Frieza. All right.
No, I mean that actually is Frieza, and then that's Frieza's dad, and then that also looks like Frieza, but it could be somebody different. Anyways, look, man, I'm coming out publicly and saying I appreciate it. I hadn't even texted the guy. Can I be fair? My wife had it in our car, and I kept seeing it. I was like, what is that big freaking thing that's in our car? And so I was like, moving trash, because as all wives know, good husbands have to clean their wife's car all the time. All the time. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No. So we have a guy.
What does your wife's cup holders look like right now?
Oh, you have two kids. Yours is a little older, but are you allowed to eat? Are they allowed to eat in your car, in their vehicle?
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a massacre back there.
Well, here the thing is you get to this point where you're just like, man, everything. Like when they said, don't let your kids watch tablets because it's bad.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Because
I'm going to be a good parent. I'm going to be the parent that takes peas and carrots, and I'm going to grind up the own baby food for them, and I'm going to do all of this and that. And like Jeff Foxworthy said, man, I love what he said. He said, you get to that second kid, and you're like, hey, he found a piece of chocolate under the stove, and you're like, hey, at least knock the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth. That's what you get when you get that second kid, dude. It just. Do you feel that way with your second?
No, I think. Look, I'm very protective, so I think with all the kids, especially with the girls, I think I was a little bit more.
Do you think that's a genetical thing? Like, do you think your family, you think they're just protective people, or do you think it's like a mentality trait that you kind of got while in service or post service, or do you feel like it's a trait you've always had?
It's a great question. So I would base it on. So you ever hear of terms nature versus nurture? So growing up, mom was a single mom. So let's bless it, all those single moms out there.
Good woman right there. Good woman, Miss Hayslip.
Yeah, kudos. And you know what? We talked about groups and stuff, but my mom put good people in our lives, even though she was single at that time. She did an amazing job. Anyways, back to I'm just saying.
Hey, time out.
It.
Does your mom consistently watch this podcast?
She does. She just asked for episode 5.
Well, you know what, Miss
Jarek.
Hayslip, I just want to tell you right here. I met your family. I've known your son, and then I
Our
got to meet
cooking's
your
terrible.
other son. And I'm
Our
gonna
cooking's
just tell
terrible.
you right now that if I got the results that you got, what I'm seeing, pat yourself on the back and just go on for the rest of retirement. Is she in retirement yet?
No. She's
on.
No, she's not. She's living her best life, though. I assure
God
you.
send her a check and just put her off into retirement because she raised some good boys. She needs it.
Hey,
She needs
I
it.
appreciate it.
I think you've done a good job, and that's just a side note because we just don't get to talk much. I get to talk to him, not so. But look, enough of that, man. Enough of that because I know we banter. We could just sit here and shoot the bull all day long, and my wife's like, "We'll just call them on the phone." But we got some problems in the country, man.
We do.
We got some problems in the country. And I don't know where to start. I don't know what you want from me, where to start. But we got some problems in the country.
Yeah.
So, it's not. First of all, it's a global thing. I want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you.
Remember, this is
start off. I'm gonna say 2 words, and then we're gonna leave about 5 seconds of silence for speculation.
All right.
Big Pharma. What do you think? I mean, what do you think when you hear Big Pharma?
So last week on episode 5, you clarified how much some of these big pharma and some of these big elites made during the COVID
I didn't
times.
clarify. We started that. We kind of nosedive into a conversation that we were like, man, it could, and you even had, or we even had Miss Anonymous. We'll just say that. Thank you for your comment. Also, it means a lot to all the viewers out there that do comment, like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you. And one day we're going to make some ball caps, and one day we're going to honor one of you with them. With that being said, also next week we're going to do a live podcast. Y'all didn't see that coming, and we actually found out how to read the comments. Yeah. Okay, we didn't know. We were actually, dude. We were kind of defeated after the live. We were like, man, we saw a lot of people coming in.
We had 13. The highest one was 17, but the comments, that's what we missed out on.
Well, we just didn't know, so we just didn't get a chance to interact with you guys, and we're sorry about that. But I think we got it figured out. So, anyways, that was off to the side note. So we got Big Pharma. And I just want to let you know.
And we got a comment on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, here's the deal. Big Pharma, what that is a group of basically it's the main players that make what you and I and many other Americans take, whether it's over the counters, prescriptions, you name them. America's Big Pharma companies would be Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. Pfizer, you probably know because of the vaccination.
Yeah,
and then Johnson & Johnson, you probably know because that was what was on your booty.
Yeah, that's right.
No, dude, I didn't even know for a while. They're like, yeah, man, Johnson & Johnson's got a vaccination out. And I'm like, the baby powder company? I'm like, I just always associate them with baby powder. I don't know why.
It's funny how much if you look at all them, how much other companies they have, like they're just not.
Oh yeah, we'll see, and that's what gets scary. And we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
but
and what they control.
By the way, did you know a little fun fact? Band-Aid is actually only for the brand Band-Aid. Every other brand has to use bandage. Some other kind of form, because Band-Aid was the one that came out with Band-Aid, and everybody's like, hey man, can I get a Band-Aid? Hey, can I get a Band-Aid? No, a Band-Aid is a Band-Aid. Anything else, Johnson & Johnson, does Johnson & Johnson make Band-Aid, is a bandage. Fun fact. I know that doesn't matter for nothing. But.
No, that's crazy. Would have never thought. So they copyrighted the term, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, and rightfully so. They were pretty smart at it. Mm-hmm. So here's what I want to say about Big Pharma. because I feel like that's not quite on the term of big pharma.
Yeah, but hey, look, we were going to talk about two different segments on this, not let alone big pharma. Derek's
No,
going to
no,
talk
no, no,
about
no, no, no.
prescriptions.
Yeah, we're talking about a little bit of it all, but man, the deal
Yeah.
with big pharma is aha, there we go.
How many
So
pages you got?
I did some studying, bro.
Yeah, good.
So
Good.
we're going to start with big pharma because we're going to lay the foundation of where you could see it's a problem and you could see the people, because big pharma is the people that is giving you the prescriptions and the vaccinations and all this and that is doing this. I didn't really, I'm not going to challenge big pharma and looking up if I don't even know what's in the recipe. I don't know what recipe's in the pudding, if you know what I mean.
We'll give our opinions at the end, right? Right before
yes.
we'll give our opinions.
So when you think big pharma, first thing you're going to look
facts.
up, you're going to find a guy named Martin Shkreli.
All right, I'm going to type it in right now.
I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Martin Shkreli, USA financer over a hedge fund, and his job is to make money for his hedge fund investors. This man decided to go off into making
what year
profitability.
Was this? What year was this?
I didn't get, but it's probably in the 2013 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was a retro fan. It was for HIV, right?
Mm-hmm. No. So it's called Diaprim or Diaprim.
Oh, there it is. That's the price hike.
Or something
yep, the
like
price hike. Yep.
So you did fact check me. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
just say it. It just sounds good. Sure. It just sounds better. Like, I'm just making sure you're hitting me with the truth. So this guy, he obviously got popular because he decided to take the what he saw profitability in the pharmaceutical medicine, what we're charging and all that. So he gets in there. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And he buys the U.S. rights to the drug Daraprim, and I think I'm saying that right, but if I'm not, I'm close enough. It was a medicine that basically treated some infections that HIV, I guess, or was something for HIV treatment, and then also malaria. At the time, Mr. Martin Shkreli took that over. It was the drug cost about $13.50. Okay, now. He raised it 5,000%. Now, I thought when they said he raised it 5,000%, I was like, "What is it? That's got to be an astronomical number." It still is a lot higher. I mean, it's not like, man, I'm from a little country school, so I'm like sitting here timesing 5,000 by 1350. Yes, I did that. I know. I don't need to hear that I'm an idiot, but needless to say, the price goes from $13.50 to $750. Okay. Which led that to be, if you can't pay for it, you can't get it. And HIV, I don't know how much malaria is actually in the United States. You know what I mean?
It's big. It's big in Africa. Well, it's big in Africa. I mean, you got to think global, just not the U.S. Like these pharmaceutical companies selling everywhere. They don't just sell to us.
So HIV, so would you say HIV probably runs? Do you think HIV has a higher percentage in lower income areas? Is that fair to say?
Yes, I mean,
I don't mean he did, but I'm just that. Look, I think
that's fair to say. Ask Magic Johnson. I guarantee you. He beat it. So ask him how he freaking did it.
Well, now he's owning a basketball team, so life's probably, man, he bounced back hard.
Here's what kills me, right, about this guy, and just elaborate.
You know what's crazy is, just a side note if LeBron James figured out what Magic Johnson figured out, Magic Johnson literally got cured from having AIDS. Some people was like, no, it was AIDS.
Well, no, he had HIV. It was HIV.
LeBron James.
Once you get AIDS, what? Go ahead.
LeBron James cannot figure out how to grow his hairline out for the life of him. And I mean, he gets this stuff redone every year. Magic's living a happy life and overcame what they said could be, some say incurable. So Mr. Shkreli had to go they brought it up to the Supreme Court, and they were asking him some pretty tough questions. And his response, this was quote, the only thing he would have done different would have been to raise the price more because he could have got it. If you're sick, you got to do what you got to do. That could lead into a whole nother conversation because you go into the cancer talk. But
well, look, you got to explain this. You think this is the biggest chemical warfare in the U.S.? This is why we're talking about this.
Well, and so that's where I was going to go to on the next phase. On the next phase with the prescription vaccination. After
reading this is what I find funny, right? So this guy, after doing all this, it was 7-year sentence, and he had to forfeit more than just $7.3 million in assets. And I think he made more than that because he jumped it up because it was in need. And here's another thing I find highly. So in 2018, all right, he would sell. Guess what this guy. So when you look at this gentleman, would you think he had a Wu-Tang Clan album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin? Which is a single copy exists. Guess how much it sold it for in 2015? $2 million. So he got $2 million for selling.
We're talking about Martin Shkreli?
Yeah, he had a Wu-Tang Clan and sold it album. Yeah.
Well, this is one of his quotes also. The system is broken and more. Basically, he's talking about the pharmaceutical company. The system he's talking. This is the person that is making your medicine and that owns the rights to medicine. Well, in the United States.
It's one gentleman.
Look, you think he's the only one doing it?
No, but But you can't just put a group of people.
I'm not. No. I'm not gonna speculate. I'm not gonna speculate that it's. I'm not gonna to pick names, but I'm assuming that he is one of many that we do not know.
This happened, I guess, in what? Because he got convicted.
I think it was like 2013, and I should have wrote that down.
But
also,
that's what he's saying. On December 17th of 2015, he was arrested by the FBI on indictments. It was a Ponzi scheme, so he didn't even get arrested by security.
That was on like security charges.
Yeah.
So, but this is him saying the pharmaceutical company is broken and more money driven than ever. That's what the person is saying. All right. Fun fact of the day. Here's another. What we got going on ESPN? Ain't nothing. Well, okay. I wish they would find something to do with the ES like the basketball NBA All Stars because like I actually like what football's done, and this is just a tic tac comment. But anyways, that was what the alert was about. Another fun fact: large big pharma companies. This is the large big pharma companies. If you're taking notes, go ahead and parenthesize monopoly.
But I'm just writing down when he got convicted because I just want to see the correlations of overlapping, convictions between the two. So go ahead. So
So large companies, and this is not added up together. I am saying large companies as in one entity with this number saying that they received this. We're seeing $40 billion in returns. $40 billion. How long? For one, I want to say like
2023. Was that 2023?
Yeah,
and that's a grouping of all the pharmaceutical companies, right?
No, that's one, but that's like Pfizer, like $44 billion. Sanofi, like $40 billion. That's one company. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. My thing is you're sitting here telling me we have people sitting here giving you $40 billion and you cannot find, or you say like, why aren't we further advanced in medical? How much does the medical field generate? How much money? It's probably in the trillions. Why aren't we further advanced in something like, especially cancer? Okay, and I know everybody's gonna be like, oh boy, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I know I was just kind of rolling out the big pharma. But I want to get on one more story, and just to show you kind of what I'm going to lay the foundation for that, and then Jason's going to go on his little vaccine stint. He's going to tell us why you shouldn't be sticking them kids with needles. I didn't say it. I'm joking. If you do, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a real quick, here's a company, another company out of France, large big pharma company, one of them $40 billion return kind of people, Sanofi. Now, Sanofi had a gosh, I can't. You ever wrote something you couldn't read, much less pronounce, even if it was written perfectly? Depakine. Depakine was an epilepsy treatment, and so this mother, I'm not going to name names because I forgot to write her name, but it's probably respectful that I don't. She had epilepsy, and Depakine was an epilepsy treatment. So she started her stint on Depakine, taking it multiple times a day, got with her physicians while she was pregnant, and they said it was okay. Nothing was wrong. Depakine was perfectly safe for the child. Child was born. Basically, the child was born. Everything looked good until the baby started growing, and what comes with the maturity of a baby, which is learning to stay seated up, walking, crawling, talking. That child was actually, I don't know how to say it. He was slower. They thought he had a learning deficit. Okay, and through that, they started doing all these tests. Well, come to find out, it was never a learning deficit, but it was a disorder. It was a disorder, and it's a disorder that tens of thousands of kids in Europe have had birth effects from. Sanofi makes Depakine. So what does Sanofi have to say about this in 2000? So they were asked about this in 2003, and they admitted to they have known about the problem that this was causing since 1970. We're in 2003. It was never there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was never there. It was never a big concern to them that it would do that to a child. But here we have tens of thousands of birth defect kids with this birth defect, and it took one mom in 2003 to take it to the next level. So I'm done. That's what I kind of want to lay out. What you're dealing with the big pharma companies. That's just two of many more stories of who Sanofi and Mr. Mark Shkreli. So yeah, man, I'm gonna let you take it for a little bit because I'm out of breath.
Well, no, that's so. I just want to elaborate on what you said about breast cancer. So we found out there. You just look it up on Google. Cancer types receive the most funding is breast cancer with $2.73 billion, and then the rest of it. But the total amount is about $18 billion on cancer research. It goes in. It looks like each year for it. I just want to elaborate too on what he was saying. Have you ever seen commercials? So in 1971, what was the last time you saw a smoking commercial? Remember the Winston man, the Marlboro man.
Marlboro man.
So at Congress, this is what's funny. All right. So everything you read, I just want to read about the side effects.
Wasn't he a cowboy? Right? Was the Marlboro man a cowboy?
Yeah, he was. It was a
That's
cowboy.
Why they get called cowboy killers.
Yeah. Well, so that was the last cigarette ad. All right. And the reason Congress passed this law was it was due to public health, right? But I posted something on our Facebook page on Speakeasy Podcast on Facebook. I also put it on Instagram. I'm trying to put it over to X, Twitter.
But we got a Twitter now.
Yeah, Ozempic. It's a diabetic drug, but watch this commercial, right? So this is the commercial they're using right now to entice people. It's a weight loss drug. This is what people are using right now, and this is where I think how it elaborates, right? Think about what I'm saying, right? It's a weight loss drug.
Now, is that in like a oral drug or like an injection?
I think it's an injection drug. Is the one I put up on there, right? But what I find is funny, right? So in 1971, they said, hey, the health risk, public health risk, smoking, nope. But we already know tobacco. Our ancestors smoked this for a long time. All right.
A little bit of peyote, maybe.
Yeah, peyote, whatever. But they said nope, you can't use TV ads. But you want to hear some of the things about Ozempic? It's a diabetic 1 and 2. All right, diarrhea, dizziness, kidney damage, diabetic retinopathy, hyperglycemia, thyroid cancer, and et cetera. And it goes on and goes on. And back in the day, they used to run them real fast. Remember, they would show how happy these people were about using this drug, and then they actually got in trouble, so they had to slow it down. But these guys are still allowed to use commercial advertisements for prescription drugs just to get them into it. And what kills me is watch that commercial, Derek. He'll go through it and be like, there was a 14.3 weight loss when you take this drug. Like, he was excited to sell that product as a weight loss drug, other than it's going to help me, with my heart rate. It's
my thing is
comical.
when you go to the doctor and they say, excuse me, sir, we're going to actually give you Fidedically. Fidedically is a medicine that will help. It's a newer medicine, but we wanted to just do this trial run on you, and we want to get you back in 2 weeks to see how if you like it, and that's probably being pushed by something, and we'll get to that shortly. But Fidedically. The thing is, it's not like you see on these commercials that they do have this. They have to announce and voice over. But you know what's crazy is every time they voice over the side effects, there's always like curtain. There's always like a clothesline and kids running through the clothesline and throwing fit. Like, dude, you
and it's like
diarrhea.
Yeah, but they speed up. This is what I found out. So you know how sometimes when you get on a commercial, it's a louder than what your TV is. Have you ever noticed that? You're like, dang, why is that so loud? But then at the end, it's somebody commented on it. Probably told me to shut up. But so when it goes through that, they speed it up a little bit and they actually lower the volume at the end of it. It's just crazy.
Well, and what I mean by that though is you hear all these side effects in the commercial.
Yeah.
Doctors don't quite tell you side effects.
No, they don't.
I mean, I got a good doctor. Thank you. I don't know if he ever watches this. You're not included in any of this.
Well, no.
He's a good guy, dude.
Remember, I've always said this in the world, right? There's good and bad doctors. There's good and bad people out there in the world. Just I hate when you go into a doctor's office. No,
but how do you not hear? How do you not hear in the doctor's office? Imagine that doctor reading off like they do on the commercial. Well, Zidafil it causes ear bleeding, also a mild pain to the bottom of your foot. You can also get mild chest compressions, palpitations, back pain, sweaty hands, clammy knees. You can't bench over 225. It's just all these crap. Like you don't ever hear that in the doctor's office, and I wonder why. Because I'm like, bro, if you knew, like, if somebody went in there and said, like I said, if I don't take my vertigo, or if I don't take my my antidepressant, man, I'm gonna have vertigo for like bad, you know. It's just not a good feeling. Don't you
think your body? Yeah, but this is what bothers me about this? All right, it really does. All right, so you go into a doctor's office, and I just want to clarify too. All right, because I was a little wrong. There's not 72 vaccines when you're a newborn or throughout your whole life. It's 5 or 10 when you're newborns, and then. So it wasn't 72.
That's a shot right there.
Yeah, I just want to say I was wrong. I just want to clarify. But it's funny when you go into a doctor's office, they immediately go, "Hey, well, I'm going to prescribe you this." But then why wouldn't you say, "Hey, there's a natural"? Why wouldn't they push a natural remedy? Like, "Hey, would you guys ever thought about smoking weed or eating honey, or taking apple cider vinegar, or
honey's a very, very very good." And I also. A guy from my work told me about this, and he seems like I can trust him. So if he's wrong on this, just let me know, and I'll confront him. But he was like, yeah, man, local honey is really good because they pollinate with your
Your
you know what I
community.
mean?
It is.
Doesn't that
That's
sound right?
fact.
Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, but remember them pushing about the pollutions of these honeybees. Oh man, the honeybees are getting extinct. So I agree. I think we need to worry about the pollinators because the honeybees are very important. But yeah, that is a fact. I can contest that's true.
So the thing is, we don't get 70, but if we did ever get it, whoever, I bet you the Hulk got 72 shots and one vaccination. Just, and that's what happened to him. That
Oh
was,
yeah,
I was like, man, that's a lot of shots. But
yeah.
I need to say 70, it's not 72 vaccinations, but how many did you say?
So 5 to 10 around that. So that's a lot less. Than
And
what I
keep
was
in
saying.
mind, guys, vaccinations are such a touchy topic. We're not saying if you get vaccinations, you're wrong. If you get them, it's
but prescriptions.
But I think there is knowledge, and like this wasn't ever meant to be a podcast where we just, we're always going to cut up and smile and just
but it's opinionated.
It's opinionated, and we're just trying to. That's why we like seeing.
We want you guys to do. Yeah, but we want you guys to do your own research. Give us feedback of what you guys found because what we found is what's on our mind and what we want to talk about because what we've went through and how we do it. So I'm going to bring up a story like you did, all right? So in 1930s, so in 1930, Tuskegee, Alabama, all right? So this is an African-American community. And what these doctors, which is the United States government, gave these guys syphilis, all right? And they would go in there. And so these guys were lab rats in Tuskegee, Alabama, all right? What they did was they inject them, all right? But then they never gave them any medical treatment. And they would go in there and ask them about medical treatment. But what it was they were just doing research of what week one. Okay, look, subject 1 came in. He's asking about itchy grinds. There's pus coming out.
So whatever station, the people that you're talking about, basically,
it was if you
in
look
Alabama,
this up,
they used a African American community.
Yep, and they injected these. Yeah,
to be lab rats.
And these are true. Okay. So at this time there's about 6,000 Tuskegee Airmen or Tuskegee, Alabama residents there. Right, that's what I've read. But if you guys look up Tuskegee, Alabama, 1932 or 1935, type in syphilis shots, it'll blow your mind what the United States government did, and I feel that goes on as of today, right now. When COVID happened, who died the most out of all the countries? And I think this is, and when we were asking, when our president at that time asked for, hey, we're going to make our own pharmaceutical companies, where was our pharmacies at? Where was our pharmacies? And who held them? The ingredients that we needed to make, they were holding it for themselves. So I'm all about being self-sufficient. We shouldn't give 100% to another country to allow us to do pharmaceutical sales. Am I right? Or how do you feel about that? What I just said, if I said, hey, this is a state of emergency, we need this, and we don't have the ingredients to make it.
This is where I don't have the education level because I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, yeah, man, we could bring that over back to America and this and that. And, I'm proud of Texas. We can make that in Texas. And they're like, dude, that's like a nationalist mindset. And I'm like,
well, that's what they're going to say.
Is that, do you think that's no. Like, all right, you think that, no, but time out though. Do you think that is the scapegoat when somebody says, oh, well, we need to bring this back to America and that back to America. And I would like if we did make medicine in America and that way we could monitor the quality, monitor the process.
Well,
who's to say we actually monitor what's going on over there?
We don't. I agree. You can't tell me another nation has the exact same quality as the United States. And who best to qualify it than the people that are in America or in that
FDA?
So remember, I'll tell you that. So when I was overseas, I'm in a foreign country. All right. What they would do is all our spent rounds, we had to bury them. All right. Or these foreigners would come and gather up our steel. And what they would do in our brass casings, and they would go up to China in another country. Yeah, I'm dying. Sorry.
He's
COVID.
Yeah. See,
So
look,
they would go
the government's giving it to you through the computer.
I shouldn't stare at the screen. But they would go up to China, they would melt it down, and then they would sell that metal back to the United States. And the quality of that metal was not as good as the American quality. Now, if that's happening at that lower level, what do you think is happening at the higher level when they're actually doing like medical?
I mean, dude, the thing is, though, is why isn't it? So back to what Martin Shkreli said. The system is broken and more money driven than ever. Why are we even talking about money when we're talking about saving lives and helping people? Why do we not just go with the proof is in the pudding? Because I can tell you now, when I have a headache, I'm taking BC powder because that sucker's gone in 12 minutes. I don't take it every day. People are like, don't take BC powder to tear up your lip. I don't take it every day, but a headache it'll do.
Well, I'm gonna elaborate. So remember, they work hand in hand, right? So you got the big pharma and you got the insurance companies, right? So what does insurance companies have, right? So they have home and auto, they have annuities, fixed annuities, 401ks, 597, 592 plans, but they also have life insurance. So when you go into a life insurance meeting, guess what immediately what they say? How can we make money? So right, if it's every company you see is here to make money. I want you to know that. I think, do you believe what I just said? Every company's out there, even the insurance, the big pharma, the doctors, they're here to make money.
Well, and that's the thing is where people are like, well, Martin Shkreli's just one guy. Well, dude, there is a Martin Shkreli for every big pharma. I hate to tell you. there is guys that are now maybe they're not taking it to this extreme level he did.
Yeah, but think about this, all right? Really, this is why I think it was like a little bit of it was done by other people, and he was just a scapegoat, right? Why would you have does that guy look like he should have a Wu-Tang Clan sell for $2 million? So let alone the buyer, that was just like, hey, I'm gonna give you $2 million because of your 7-year sentence. Now, how many people during that time that had HIV died too? If that was you and me, wouldn't you get convicted for more?
That's kind of what they were getting at.
Well, so I want to elaborate too on this. In 1990, the big pharma, what we're talking about, pushed OxyContin to these doctors saying, hey, this is what you need to do. And there's a big scandal. So all these people, I mean, if you look at Netflix and stuff, they pushed OxyContin early in the 90s, and all these athletes from high school got addicted to this, all right? And all these doctors were prescribing it. Now,
OxyContin, just to clarify, everybody should know what OxyContin is. It's an opioid. It's a painkiller.
Yeah, just like Tylenol.
Yeah, but it's Tylenol times.
Yeah.
1 million. By the way, so just to give you a little side knowledge, 4 out of every pharmacy filled prescription is an opioid. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
4 out of every 5 pharmacy filled prescriptions are opioids in America. That's 82%. 82% of prescription bottles are going out as opioids. And we wonder why we have so many addicts. And the reason why I'm saying that is 6% of the people, because we're obviously a large sum of the number are opioids. Okay. 6% of those abuse prescriptions. Okay. So that's just 6% of the United States. Which is, you're like, man, that's, well, think about it. That's 16 million people abuse their prescriptions. That's what they're saying. This is from the NCDAS. I'm sure it's something intelligent that they're abbreviating there. But here's the deal: they put this out because I just wrote it out. It was good facts, but they said 6% abuse the prescriptions over the age of 12. Okay, well, and then they say, well, 12% are addicted. What does that mean? I think if you abuse your prescriptions, you're addicted. I don't know how that I don't, we have a stat for everything now, but you brought up the addict thing, but let's go back to the vaccinations because I want to hear what you saw, what you recognize in some of these because people feel some type of way about vaccinations. Am I right?
Yes. Well, so we have followed the natural procedures through life, and yes, there's a big push for these vaccines because your body has an automatic immune system. All right. And what they're finding out now, so this is before the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, which is probably corrupt, just like any other organization. But they have stated back in 2000s or some time frame, they did a report saying that there's 40% less people actually getting vaccinating at that time. And they were saying there's a researcher done down in Africa where these people would get series 1, series 2, and series 3 phases of the shot. But what they're saying is most of these people that they did these shots for didn't die from the shot, from the vaccination that, that protected them from malaria that they were trying to prevent them to getting, but they died from other things out. So it weakens all your other autoimmune systems for potential diseases that might get into your body. Yeah, viruses that get into your body.
Yeah.
So that's most of the research that I've done. Your body has an immune system, and the reason why you have a vaccination was back in the day from smallpox. This guy invented the first vaccination way back in the smallpox days. So, and it kind of just tumbled and now we're here. And I'm not pushing back on it. Look, I'm in the military. I got my anthrax shot, my series 1, 2, and 3. But you're a test subject when you get in there. You're owned by the United States government. So I think a lot of that is. I remember when the flu shot came out, well, the bird flu and the swine flu and all that. So I was in for the bird flu, and we had to snort stuff up our nose. And they would sit there, and you had to stand at attention, and they would do it. Now you could refuse it, but I'm sure you have to go to some kind of article of dishonorable discharge or whatnot.
Well, so here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. Are you good to answer a couple questions?
Well, yeah. Yep. So I was going to tell you something. So when you sneeze,
no, go ahead. I was just, go ahead.
Well, I am. I'm going to, but I want to, I was, so my wife was sneezing, and I'm saying, "Hey, what do you say when somebody sneezes?" It's just something to think about. So you were, when you're sick, you usually sneeze. That's the reason why we're talking about sickness. But yeah, do you know where that comes from? Like, why do you say "bless you"? God bless you when you sneeze. Think about that. Ain't that weird? Like, why is that? Where the origins of "bless you" come from? And if you look it up, I'll read it to you. Where do you think it came from?
I'm going to say from the lineage of Jesus.
I mean,
I would. That's probably a good start. Maybe Israelite kind of.
Yeah. So they're really not certain, but it says one possible theory is that it originated from Rome during the bubonic plague. Which, by the way, the bubonic plague is back. There's one in the United States somewhere. Did you know that the bubonic?
I can't keep up with the plagues nowadays. Well, somebody said there's another virus out there that's mortality rate stronger than COVID. I'm like, come on, man.
I know.
Chemical warfare.
You know what song kicks on when they start talking about this? Jesus, take the wheel.
Dude,
Jesus, take the wheel.
And so, man, I cannot for the life of me. I've watched the same YouTube video because I've been on YouTube and I've had to do a lot of things on YouTube.
You didn't get episode.
No, it was actually for production purposes. Why are there all these commercials that are saying the war in Israel is a lie? They are distracting you from your $16,000 $900 inflation relief check. And it's like you've got people like Joe Rogan saying this, and you're like, There's no way Joe Rogan's saying that. There's no way. I mean, why would you be telling people to side note? Anyways, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Jason.
Yes, I'm ready for the questions.
Your kids are how old and how old?
So we have a 10-month-old, Everly Noel. And then we also have Easton Ryle, who would be turning 3 coming up. And then I have a 10-year-old who is Harper Quinn.
Okay. I don't know about Harper, but I do know as far as your other 2.
Yeah, Harper was
I
in
was
the
just
military.
like, I don't. It's not that I'm not saying your kids' names on purpose. I'm just.
Yeah, we'll just say.
I don't know.
Just say the first name. I guess I should have never said the middle name, but
it's all right. We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's all right. Hey guys, if y'all are here with us at minute 51, let me ask you this. Listen to this, Jason. All those kids, I know 2 of them are not. I mean, is that fair to say they don't have any vaccinations? You said it earlier in the video. You vaccination free.
Yeah, we're vaccination free.
Is them kids sicker than normal kids?
No. I mean,
are your kids growing a third leg?
No, they are getting sick though. There's no rashes, no measles, mumps, none of that we have went through. No chicken pox, But
what I'm saying
do get
is,
sick.
I'm saying is just because your kids didn't get vaccinated, because my kids are sick all the time.
Yeah,
they were vaccinated. I mean, look, guys, you don't know until you know, and it's hard to say that you did you didn't look into it enough.
Yeah, but
it's not that I'm against it. It's just that I think we don't know. Like, man, and how the thing is something God made you. Okay, you are a human. There's a reason why waves come in and waves go out. There's a reason why you get sick and you start sweating and you feel better the next day.
Yep.
Because you have a thing called immune system. There's a reason why bacteria helps you. Bacteria is not always a bad thing, right?
I would like to know. I think God, I think when you look at the creator, right, these people, they don't know, like these scientists, these PhDs guys, these guys that are neuroscience, they don't know how a thought is processed through a mind and actually inputted out in reality. They still don't, they cannot computerize how, when I touch this table, the feeling of what I got from this table goes all up in my mind. They understand the complexity of the body, like the muscles, the tissues, the veins, the back. But they don't know the thought. They really don't. They have, remember, they work on scientific theories, and if they can run tests and actually evaluate these tests, then this must be true.
They said that it was actually it wasn't true that, like, for the people that said you actually can only use like 8% of your brain. They said that's a myth. They said you use different parts of it, but you never use 8%. I guess because we always have this fantasy. What if I had 100%? Dude, I wouldn't want to see me with 100% of my brain. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Let me ask you one more question, because we're getting at that time where we're hey, to them guys, man, we have developed a horrible habit with PGA 2K23, and man, we've been stroking. Let's just put it that way.
So when our wife's like, "Hey, you want to play 18?" We're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go downstairs."
Yeah. Hot tap. This is gonna be a hot tap, because this is gonna be our hot tap of the week, and I don't want us to attack the question with. Because here's the deal: is what kind of platform I thought Jason was after, and what kind of platform I thought that. Or I did, because I agree. Me and Jason see eye to eye. We know we've talked about. We want a platform that we can bring opinions that can be uncomfortable, but also can be discussed And at the maddest we're ever going to get at each other is agree to disagree, because
That's it.
we're different people. We're wired different ways. Okay. I want to ask, and not if it's good or bad, but what are your inputs? What are the pros and cons that you found? What are your, and matter of fact, if you have stories, put it out there, because we need to know, because I hear too many birds chirping behind the scenes. Like, I think so.
But you also see it in the media too, though.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't.
And the
They
government.
don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your opinion on the COVID vaccine? That's a touchy one. You can think of that all day, because I've heard it's a touchy one. But I want to know, because I don't want to know is, I don't sit there and say, well, it's wrong. I don't want to even hear if it's wrong or if it's right. I want to hear what are your pros and your cons, and what are your stories to say, I don't agree, or I don't agree, or I do agree.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I love the topic, but I remember when, we're at 57, but
no. Roll with it.
I remember when COVID hit, right? And all these Christians, remember, they believe in the Bible. How many people have you seen totally hypocrites when COVID hit? Remember, we're supposed to be faith-based, believing in God, and I won't live by fear. I'll live by sight. It was funny how enclosed they went when COVID went there. Am I right or am I wrong? Like, they were stopping churches. They're like, we're not going to church. We're not. We can do that at a house. It's just, look. And this is what I say. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. It is a fair point.
That needs. So, but I don't know if you can. I'll say that was the dynamic. To me, that was the dynamic more towards like, not post-COVID, but kind of like after, like the because I'm not going to condemn anybody on the bombshell of what happened when COVID first. I'm talking about when Trump didn't have a vaccine. We're like, we're finding the vaccine. You know what I mean? I think
he was taking chloroquine.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm about to have to take this hoodie, y'all. Boy, I got the heater running. Anyways, Trump was trying to find a vaccine, and it's so weird because you have Trump supporters that hate the vaccine, but you have Trump made the vaccines. But I don't know. That's kind of, I always thought that the irony was kind of funny. But yeah, it is kind of funny.
Yeah,
I forgot where I was even going, dude. I'm just, I don't want to take that. We're close to being done.
So I'm just going to elaborate, and I'll give it all away. Hey, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us.
No.
I
would time out. I wouldn't rush you. I wasn't rushing you. I'm saying I'm not going to take this. We're going to be done within like 5 minutes.
Well, I'm pretty much. What I was going to state was, you guys do your own research, right? We're not telling you what we're doing. We just, what we found is a collaboration or a correlation between facts and reality, and some of those facts overlap, and you can see, okay, there's something going on. There's, in my opinion, and this is my opinion on vaccines and prescriptions, right? Just do your research on them.
That's what I was saying real quick, because I think that's important to clear up, because now I remembered. What I'm saying is, I don't think I'm going to condemn anybody for doing because nobody knew what was happening in 2020. Just like when the plane hit the towers, nobody knew what was happening on that day. So they just did what they thought was right.
Hey, I knew what was going on that day. Hold on. I knew
that's a whole nother episode.
I could tell you, I could get to Louisiana all the way to Ohio in like 13 hours, because ain't nobody going to pull you over. They were scared.
Yeah, man. They
ain't no cops on there.
But that's a whole.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not going to. I think I think towards the end of the pandemic, when like vaccines were already out, there was a lot of Christian people that was like, oh, I've been in the house for 2 years. I'm not going. I'll just, like, bro, you gotta, at some point, you can't stay in a corner that long, because. And I'm not going to get into. I just don't think it's good for your health. I don't think it's good for your soul. I don't think it's good for your spirit. And I think that towards the later part of the pandemic, I would say that question was probably more valid than the first, because I do think at first, like, we were all like, and I want to say something just on the COVID talk real quick while we're on it, because my cousin, Josh Puckett, I'm saying him by name, baby. I'm saying him by name for all of you. Saying him by name, because everybody's like, man, Josh got some crazy stuff going on up in there. I said, dude, I don't know what he talks about sometimes. It all kind of, what's crazy is it all kind of makes sense. It all sounds crazy, but it all kind of makes sense. Josh Puckett told me about COVID 2 months before COVID made it here. Okay. I was like, what is this? And then COVID happened. I was like, was this that virus Josh sent me a video about on Facebook, like in November of 2018 or whatever it is? I can't remember. Or 2019. Anyways. But look, man. First, we want to say thank you to Miss Anonymous that commented on the post that about this topic.
Yeah. Well, she does have a background.
Miss Allie, yeah, she has a background in the field.
Yep, she does have a background in the field.
But it was a good point, and we're not saying we didn't really get to the point of prescriptions and doctors pushing the prescriptions for money, because I'll keep it brief, but they more than likely is they have. If it's not for money, they're incentivized some other way by trips or gifts. They're incentivized some way. Not all of them, but some way.
But to use that product that they're trying to push onto you, knowing the fact that, hey, look, I'm going to go here. Yes, okay, that's
yes. But so thank you for the comment, and also we want to say, I don't, nobody that watches this, but I feel just like it needs to be said. We worked with a good guy, a very good guy, and I knew him as a man named Mr. O.L. Wood. I want to say to Lane and the family and whoever's all involved, man, if you knew the guy, you knew the guy. He was who he was, but I thought he had a good heart, man, and I hate to see him, leave this world sooner than I felt like he needed to. And I send my prayers and condolences with them guys and just some of the guys that we worked around that was close to him, man. My heart goes out. That's kind of wore heavy on me, I just wanted to say that piece, to him. I'm not a big commenter, man, but it does lie on my heart.
Yeah. Hey, Lane, we love you, man. We love you, man.
Yes, sir.
You're in our prayers, brother.
That's right. Well, look, Jason, take them out, man. Take them out.
Hey, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Spotify. Look, Facebook is probably where you're going to find most of our episodes. We're really, it's going to be episode 6. We're behind on episode 5 on Spotify, but we're doing our best. But you can follow us at Yahoo, or if you guys have any comments, questions, any concerns, follow us on Speakeasy Podcasting at yahoo.com. Be true to yourself, be true to each other, and God bless. Go ahead, Derek.
God bless, man. The Twitter's up. It's X. We gotta. I ain't even editing it out. My bad. But X is up. That's a new one. We're gonna get better at this, man. We're guys. We're working husbands. We try, man. We're gonna get better at it. We're slower than we want, probably slower than you want, but we'll get there eventually. Slow and steady wins the race. Thank you, guys. Always, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you're not following us, if you're not with us, man, get with us. Give us a follow. Give us a like. And man, it's just good to have people like Jason in your life. I hope you have a person like that as well. Wanted to pat your back and people to send you prizes. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Cool gift. Speak easy.